Starting to sound like an episode of Empire, some hip hop soap opera. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this, hip hop always wins hoodies and t-shirts at fromthevillage.us. Link in the pinned comment, and my single Document 80 is out right now. Let's get that to 100,000 views. Ladies and gentlemen, when I first heard this theory, I didn't give it much credence. Then I had a whole bunch of people hit me up. I still didn't look into it because it sounded like some crazy conspiracy theory. Now, I'm getting word that Glasses Malone, the OG who's close to Dot, spoke about this too. Now, this theory started with the YouTuber Anthony Ambroni, but his video is like an hour long, so I'm doing Desiree Rose's video about it right now, and it's 9 minutes. Did Kendrick get Drake to diss himself, and does Poetic Justice have a whole different meaning now?
Did Kendrick Lamar actually get Drake to diss himself on Poetic Justice? Is that a crazy reach, or am I...
Now, I'm going into this theory as it sounds like a crazy reach to me, right? I haven't listened to Poetic Justice in a long time, and after this, I might have to re-react to it. But, and I saw Ab-Soul was on Whacked Out Mirrors. I'm going to get to that too, but...
Dead on.
I want to... A lot of people tell me to cover this.
And you guys tell me, okay? So we're going to go all the way back to 2011.
Look into this.
Drake releases Take Care, and Kendrick Lamar releases Section 80. Mm-hmm. Even though Section 80 critically did better than Take Care, Take Care takes #1 on the Billboard 200 list, while Section 80 only makes it to 113. I think that Drake did like 300,000 copies or something like that in the first 2 weeks, and Kendrick Lamar only sold like, I don't know, between 6,000 and 9,000. So that's in 2011. Then in 2012, Drake goes on tour. He has the Club Paradise tour, and Kendrick and A$AP Rocky open for him.
Yep,
now, when I think about these two different rappers, especially when I think about Section 80 and Take Care, I can't think of two different albums that are further apart. Section 80 is so raw, it's so real. Take Care is so commercial. It is so boppy. And it's really, it's like...
It's a good way to put it. It's real boppy. Kendrick was more like, which is kind of the whole thing, where Drake is more like tries to get the pop masses, and Kendrick just tries to hit the culture and the people that it hits, and just happens to go pop with that a lot.
They're each other's antithesis. Yeah. And now they're on tour together. And the theory is that this is where the beef really begins, is when they're on tour together. And Kendrick...
I have heard throughout the entire battle, we did hear that the battle did start there. We've been hearing that through the whole thing. We're going to get into a little bit of Anthony Ambroni's video, too, where Kendrick spoke on
like a purist. Like, he really, this is his craft. He put a lot of work into this. And if you listen to his music, he tells you about everything he's had to go through to get to this point. Mm-hmm. And... now he's on tour with Drake, and Drake is like, he has writers, he has teams, he is partying, he's not really very authentic. And I could see how that would really piss Kendrick off, but I don't have to guess, because Kendrick tells us this. He goes home after touring, he tours from, I think, February to July of 2012, and then he goes and he writes Good Kid, Mad City.
Classic
and that's really
work. What a classic album, man. And I like how she said basically Drake and Section 80 and Take Care were like the antithesis of each other. The reason why this battle was what it was, the reason why I felt like it was a battle for hip-hop soul, the reason why it was such a huge battle that we probably won't even see again for at least like 5 years to a decade, it needs to build up, is because that is exactly kind of what it was representing, was the two sides. Like, they're the antithesis of each other, the pop and the culture. So it's like...
in October of 2012. I mean, and it's more than just Money Trees. It is throughout this whole album. Check out this line in Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. He's making comparisons through this whole album. I can feel the changes. I can feel new people around me just want to be famous. Who are the new people he's around? He just got off tour with Drake. You can see that my city found me and put me on stages. He's appreciating his city. This is, Poetic Justice is a love letter to them. To me, that's amazing. To you, that's a quick check. You're exploiting my people. With all disrespect, let me say this. And then he goes on to say, don't kill my vibe. Then there's Money Trees.
Who are you talking to? Never understood. Never knew who was talking. I thought because as rappers, we always battle the imaginary rapper. When we always talk about we got more money, we smoother, we got more girls, our rhymes are doper. Who are we talking about? So I just assume it's always the imaginary nigga. But a lot of the times, and I'm going to tell you this as a rapper, it's about somebody. And they might know, you might not know, but they're going to feel it. So, that is okay, because he did switch and say you disrespect. But Kendrick is always talking about, I just assumed he was talking about the system. But maybe Drake was the system.
Who could he be talking about here? You look like an easy come up, a silver spoon I know you come from. That's the lifestyle that we never knew. Go add a reverend for the revenue. You do anything for the money. It goes Halle Berry or Hallelujah. It goes Hollywood or salvation. Pick your poison. Tell me what you're doing. Either way, tell me who you are. Everybody gonna respect the shooter, but the one in front of the gun lives forever. This is a reference to the Poetic Justice music video, and Kendrick is the one in front of the gun. And what he's saying is
let me just educate you there. The one in front of the gun lives forever is not a reference to Poetic Justice music video. That is a common saying. I don't know if it's just like a street saying. I don't know if it's just a nigga saying. I thought it was like a common saying. The one in front of the gun lives forever. They're always saying, because they're saying that the one in front of the gun lives forever. When you kill somebody, you usually immortalize them. Because in death, you kind of become martyred. Like, a lot of our legends died and now they're immortal. Like, you see murals of Biggie, Nipsey, Pac, and they'll never go away. So that's a common saying. Kendrick didn't invent the one in front of the gun lives forever. He's not even the first rapper to say the one in front of the gun lives forever. There's also a saying, I'd rather be the one behind it or the one in front of it. That's just a common saying. I don't think that's a reference to the Poetic Justice video. They're just saying that when you kill somebody, you tend to immortalize them. You know what I mean? So, like, everybody respects the shooter, the one behind the gun. He gets the street credit, but the one in front of the gun lives forever. You immortalize them. They're forever in that age. If you died at 15, 30 years later, the only people, you're still 15, because when they look at them pictures, that's what that means. That's a reach. I think she misunderstood that.
That everybody's going to respect the industry, but the one in front of the gun lives forever. The artist lives forever. And then he tells you, he says, and I've been hustling all day. This.
And maybe he meant it in double ways, but I just wouldn't jump to say that's what he meant, because that is a common saying. And if you listen to the context, everybody gonna respect the shooter, but the one in front of the gun lives forever, which.
This bad way through canals and alleyways just to say, so I have come all of this way just to tell you that Money Trees is the perfect place for shade.
And that's just
so he did all of this to tell you that underneath Money Trees is the perfect place for shade. Poetic Justice featuring Drake. So at this
okay. All right, that's a little bit of a reach there. There's other things that is said in the song that I feel like are better points. That's a bit of a, because it's literally, and the track list under it. I guess you could take that. I'm not going with that one. That's a little bit of a reach to me.
At this point, Kendrick Lamar knows that Drake doesn't write his own stuff, and as long as you give him a feature on a song, he'll rap whatever lyrics you want him to rap. And the theory is that in Good Kid, Mad City, he really had to code everything that he was saying because of how raw he was in Section 80 and how, like, it didn't perform as well as he had expected it to or as well as he had wanted it to. He now has to code everything he's saying so that he can get the commercial success that he's looking for. So he writes this beautiful, intricate love letter. Like, I genuinely think this song is going to be studied for like generations.
I love Poetic Justice.
It is so beautiful. Not only is it a love letter to his community, it is a love letter to Pac, it is a love letter to rap, it is a love letter to the African American community as a whole. Okay.
It's also a love letter. I think she's also missing the metaphor of the movie Poetic Justice that Pac was in. And it's also a love letter to that. And if you know the movie Poetic Justice, it's a love story about Janet and Pac. So there's that too. So
now let's break down these lyrics, and you can see how incredible this is. He's saying, "I know who you are without you having to tell me. You don't have to explain yourself."
Now, if y'all want me to react to the whole hour, I might do a live where I just do the whole hour long video of the other person who has some other stuff in there, but
to me, I know you need a lot because you're in survival mode, and the only justice you get is the poetic kind. If I told you were beautiful even though you couldn't see it, would you believe me? And this is all Kendrick's first verse, and this this part right here is really important because it comes up in Drake's verse, but he says, I mean, I write poems in these songs dedicated to you. He's saying, I write for you. He goes on to say, when you're ready to be understood, I'm here. Better yet, why aren't the rappers who you do support, the Drakes of the world, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they saying this to you? I really want to know you all. I really want to show you off. He's being literal. But you're not ready to confront that, so you reject me and go distract yourself. Here he's saying they're taking advantage of your situation and it's time for them to stop. So the subtle differences in this section right here between Kendrick's and Drake's is huge, and it makes all the difference in the world. But right here he's saying what comes from the mouth is what's in a man's heart. And I could never right my wrongs unless I write them down for real. And this less right here, the way that he did this for him versus Drake is huge. Because what he's saying is I could never right my wrongs unless I write them down for real. Like, I could never live with myself unless I was being real. And then P.S. is not postscript, but P.S. yes, postscript, but also Pak Shakur. And right here, he's trying to bait everyone to look deeper. You can get it, you can get it, you can get it. And I know just what you want. Poetic Justice, put it in a song. That's this.
Okay, there's some parts where she's saying stuff that's absolutely like, what? That P.S. postscript, Pak Shakur? That's a reach. His name is Tupac Shakur. Nobody would abbreviate Tupac's name as P.S. It'd be T.S. To Pimp a Butterfly was supposed to be called To Pimp a Caterpillar, and it was supposed to be stand for Tupac. So I think P.S. is just P.S. there. But when the whole looking at the I can never right my wrongs unless I write them down for real line, that has some credence to it.
Whole song is about. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Now this is Drake's part, okay? So he starts out, I really hope you play this, okay? So he's saying, I really hope...
Because I could never write my wrongs unless I write them down for real. That's crazy. That one does have some, but...
You listen now that I have your favorite rapper saying it to you. So he's speaking to you through Drake, and the music video really backs this theory up. Now this one's really funny because he's saying, with all these pretty boy rappers rapping about nothing, you've been got. It's a lot for me to take in. It doesn't make sense.
Hold on, let me see this. With all these seductive photographs and all these one-off vacations you've been taking, clearly a lot for me to take in. It don't make sense. I don't know. Okay.
Rapping about nothing, you've been got. It's a lot for me to take in. It doesn't make sense. You're messing with him because you're still trying to fit into that box that they put.
And art is meant to be interpreted. So this is, I want to see some other videos about this.
I'm trying to educate you and elevate you and bring your whole community up. It can happen. When you figure out we have everything we need right here, if we wake up and work together, that would be justice. You were so young when they brainwashed you, stole your dreams, kicked you down. And then remember I told you that it was really important before in Kendrick's verse. I mean, I write poems in these songs, he said, dedicated to you. And Drake saying dedicated to the fun sex. Dedicated.
See, that's what I'm saying is like she could have left a lot of that. This has more credence because actually when you do listen to some of these lyrics on Drake's song, it kind of don't make sense for Drake because it kind of do sound like Drake in hindsight is making fun of himself because if I flip, I write poems in these songs, dedicate them for you. That is on its face more like a loving lyric and more like a good person. If y'all say I write poems in these songs dedicated to the fun sex, you're almost like saying, I'm the devil on your shoulder. He's the angel. I'm I'm only here for this. I'm very shallow. And as a rapper, I would catch that. I feel like if I was like, wait, hold on. How come I say that? the toxic ass lyric. Why do you? I would ask that because it's like, and then maybe he wrote that. And if he did, it'd be even stupider.
To the nothing. But I see your beauty, and when I encounter it, I just wish I could make you understand me. Now, the whole song, and really the whole album, and I really feel like the whole next album are really directed towards Drake and the Drakes of the the world. But this line right here is really kind of targeted towards Drake specifically. They say communication, save relations, I can tell. So he's saying, you can save this relationship, but you have to be honest and you have to write down your wrongs for real. But I can never right my wrongs unless I write them down for real, because he doesn't write his own stuff and he's not being real. And then Pac Shakur. Now this is where he's literally
I wish you would never say that Pac Shakur thing again.
Telling you that this is all coded. He's telling you the truth is forbidden. I have to code this, but it's true. Living life towing the line. Love is not just sex, it's your power. It's you following your dreams. If I can do it, you can do it. Love is taking our power back. Where you put your love is the direction this goes. We need to come together and get on the same page. This is my purpose. Take your time and dig for this message. And before they shut me up, Pac Shakur. And now he's pretty much kicking Drake off his fucking track. Yeah. And so then the theory would continue on. You could say that Drake was, in fact, the butterfly that Kendrick pinned.
Okay, yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of this I feel like were crazy reaches. But the main part, I wish you would have just spoke on the Drake verse part. That's the main part where I go, ooh, there is some weird things in that. I'm not going to lie to you. That P.S. Pac Shakur might have been the most Caucasian way of interpret Pac Shakur, nigga. Do I believe this theory that Kendrick wrote it? I don't know. Do I believe that those lyrics age absolutely, positively crazy now? Absolutely. And do I think the Drake verse stuff looks shaky in the light? Absolutely. And I do think Kendrick saying that and then Drake saying that looks like a setup. But I believe a lot of this was a crazy reach. But y'all asked me to check it out. This is my theory. If y'all think that there's a better video to say this, because maybe Anthony Ambroni's video speaks on it more, and I didn't really have time to get into the glasses stuff, but Glass spoke on it too. Maybe I'll cover that in the Ambroni video too. So y'all let me think. What do y'all think about this theory? It's got a little bit of weight, but I don't know how much. I don't know if I'd bet the house on it.